Yo, what's poppin'? So as you may know, I am in the Draft League tournament known as the WBE, or the World Battle Entertainment, courtesy of A-Drive and PokeMD. I believe I did announce this in my Pangoro video, so I hope you all enjoyed that one. I'm here today to show you all what I have drafted and why I drafted each Pokemon. After you see the team, I want each and every one of you to please leave a comment and tell me if you like my team. Also, tell me what your favorite Pokemon in my draft is. I'd really like to know. And I do read all the comments, of course, so I appreciate the support. Now, for those that are new to Draft League tournaments, the way that drafting works is you take turns with each other person, picking Pokemon from different tiers that fill up the requirements, and every Pokemon is assigned a tier based on how good they are. There are banned Pokemon in this league. They are consisting of Magearna, Urshifu, Libero, Cinderace, Dracovish, and Mew, and of course all the other Uber Pokemon. I don't think I missed anything, but if I did, then obviously I didn't pick it. So we draft 11 Pokemon total, and we bring the best 6 for each matchup. So each week we'll face somebody new. We have to basically win as much as we can in order to make playoffs. And then, of course, you already know, losing the playoffs as usual, because I am indeed the people's champion. Gotta give everybody a chance. But now, I've actually lost in playoffs so many times due to hacks, though. Before I uploaded to YouTube, I did win a Showdown Draft League. That was too long ago. I'm itching to win another Draft League now. And I gotta admit, the team that I picked up here, it seems pretty powerful. So let me show you what I got. And so the randomizer, so we had a randomized draft order. People will pick based on the order that's randomized. And it's like a snake style draft. I was the number 2 pick in the draft, which is pretty good, considering that the first pick was Clefable, and I didn't really want to draft that anyways. So I picked up Dragapult, and that was the first Pokemon I picked up here. In my opinion, it's one of the best, fastest Pokemon in the metagame, which probably isn't even an opinion. It's probably more a fact than anything. I mean, there is Zero Aura, which is a really good Pokemon, but I've used it before. I've never used Dragapult in draft, and I really wanted to use it. It's really versatile. I could think of at least 5 or more sets to use, and I love drafting Pokemon in draft leagues that are super versatile. That's just me as a player, and I really wanted to try Dragapult out. It's got a great attack stat, pretty good special attack stat as well. It can run a bunch of sets and use very useful abilities in Clear Body, Infiltrator. Curse Body probably never going to use, but it could come in handy maybe depending on the matchup if it doesn't really matter what ability I bring. But most oftentimes I'll bring Infiltrator. Clear Body is great versus opposing Intimidators and Sticky Web users, but I feel like because Dragapult's speed is so high and it's such a great mon in comparison to a lot of others, a lot of matchups might be just us investing in bulk and just running like even minimal speed just to outrun their fastest Pokemon. Because in a draft tournament or in a draft league, you can only, like, if you draft a Pokemon, nobody else can draft it. So because we're the only one with Dragapult, that can be really good for us. And also in this league, there's no Dynamax or Gigantamax, which means that people can use that. Dragapult, I think, is more valuable in that kind of format. Because last time we did Gigantamax Pokemon last time. It was kind of broken. I had Gmax Grimmsnarl, like that was so broken. But Dragapult can actually knock things out now without having to worry about a Pokemon Gigantamaxing, so that's good. And yeah, like I can think of a bunch of sets to run with this thing. It should be a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll see how it does. It's a new Pokemon for me to use in draft, but I've used it before in OU. It's a good mon. Like it's one of the best in my opinion in terms of I think in draft it's gonna be one of the best. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Because it's just so fast. Like it can be really good support too with utility moves like Wisp and T-Wave and stuff. So we'll see how it does. But I wanted to pair it with a Mana Buzz, but that got taken before it came back to me. I wanted Mana Buzz, which was like 2 tiers lower than Dragapult for some reason. But like Mana Buzz is a fantastic mon. It got taken, but I was like, I didn't really care it got taken because there was something else that I wanted in case it got taken. And so I picked up a tier below Dragapult. Dragapult was the tier 1 mon. Tier 2 was Togekiss. And so like Togekiss is so much better this gen. I've used it before in the very first draft league I did on YouTube, and as well as I think in the WBE 2 seasons ago I used Togekiss. But Heavy Duty Boots is out now, so that like this thing is great, isn't it? Like we have Nasty Plot, Air Slash and stuff. It's a great stall breaker, but it's most importantly, the best defogger. It's a good mon for sure. It's no Empoleon. Like I always loved using Empoleon for defog. Like that's one of my signature defog mons. But Togekiss is a close second. Like it's up there. You know, it's able to defog things away really easily. Great synergy with Dragapult. And like in a draft, you know, it's great to take Pokemon because you can only take, if you take a mon that nobody else can take, it's great because that means that you don't have to face it. And like Dragapult doesn't really like facing Togekiss really. So taking that, it just takes it off the board for anyone else to try to take it. Glad to have that Pokemon back on the team. And then we have our next Pokemon that I picked up here. So like I said, like I love picking Pokemon that has, you know, sort of a Pokemon that can benefit the team, but also something we don't have to face. And so next Pokemon I picked up is Mamoswine. Shoutouts to Gator, Lifeorb, Adam, and Mamoswine, as you say. But for me, I'm more interested in the Chinese variant, the AV Chinese Mamoswine here. That's one of my signature sets. And so, yeah, we picked up Mamoswine. I think a great ground type Pokemon is very valuable, especially since like the top ground types in this league I think are like Excadrill, Mamoswine, Crocodile, Diggersby, and then of course you have like Chinese Seismitoad and some other lower tier stuff I guess as well. Hippowdon I think is there too, but it's not, I don't think it's like super top tier. But I think Mamoswine, really great wall breaker. First of all, it's not as versatile in terms of the number of sets you can run as Dragapult and Togekiss, but it has great coverage. Ground and ice, like there's not a lot of mons that can switch into those first of all. And there's a bunch of things you can do with it. Like you can do Band, Scarf, AV, and I don't know, like I can think of a few more, but we'll have to wait to see if I can bring it to certain matchups. But I really like Mamoswine a lot as a ground type. Like if Mamoswine, like if I didn't want Mamoswine, I'd probably get like Rhyperior or something because I've been using that a lot lately too. But you guys have seen me, I think on a team or two lately, I've been using the Chinese AV Mamoswine. That's been a lot of fun. And yeah, I think I could do a bunch of stuff with this thing. And having to not face one is great for Dragapult and Togekiss too. Now the next Pokemon that I picked up here, it's going to be another really powerful Pokemon. I was surprised this thing hadn't gone by now because like if we're pick number 2 and there are 16 coaches in the singles league, it has to go all the way to number 16, and then from 16 it has to go all the way back to number 2 for me to be able to pick again. So a lot of Pokemon goes between that time, but it was there and I picked up Obstagoon, a Pokemon that was not only suggested to me to use. I think I did tweet out what Pokemon you guys would like me to draft and stuff, and I also left that as a question in one of my videos too. But you know, a common denominator was stuff like Dragapult, Obstagoon, and things. Obstagoon was one of them. I really wanted to try it out too. It's a dark type Pokemon, so it's kind of a replacement for Mandibuzz in that typing, but it doesn't function the same way. But it's really nice because Dragapult can U-turn. Dragapult U-turns out on a lot of Pokemon. It can give me some good momentum into Obstagoon, which can just activate the Flame Orb, click Facade versus a ton of different types of Pokemon, and Wall Break. Its speed tier is great. I mean, it's base 95. Defenses are not bad either. Like it's 101 base defense, which is very bulky with 93 HP. I mean, it has some useful abilities in Guts, which is like the main ability that it has, but it also has Reckless and Defiant, which I think can be useful depending on the set. I mean, this thing also has Parting Shot, so it gives me a momentum with Dragapult, and I think Parting Shot is really cool because it can lower the attack of certain mons and just bring things in a little bit safer than, you know, just regular hard switching. And the coverage on Obstagoon is fantastic. Like it can be really versatile. Then I picked up a steel type Pokemon for the next tier. So Mamoswine and Obstagoon were a tier lower than Togekiss, 2 tiers lower than Dragapult, which is crazy. Like Mamoswine and Obstagoon are fantastic Pokemon. And then a tier lower than those, I picked up a Bronzong. And Bronzong was mainly because that a lot of the steel types were going. A lot of the good steel types were going at this point in time. And Bronzong was one of the best ones, in my opinion, that were left remaining. So I picked that up. I think it's great because it also is able to take hits really well from things like Kyurem. Kyurem's a big threat. Somebody did draft that, and I mean, this thing that like Kyurem, it can run specs like with freeze dry and stuff, and it can be really, really annoying. even though Mamoswine has thick fat, like I'm sure it's not going to take a Draco Meteor that well at all. So Bronzong could do that really well, and it can take all the dragon hits, the fairy hits. The cool thing about Bronzong is in Draft League, you can run it with Levitate and also with Heat Proof, and Heat Proof is great because you, depending on the matchup, you can sponge fire hits a lot better, and nobody's gonna click Earthquake on a Bronzong unless you've taken Spikes damage or they've known, like, or they know what set you are basically. Like they're not gonna just randomly click Earthquake. So I think in that sense it's good. Like as a stealth rocker and a defensive Pokemon, it has some great coverage overall and some good setup options as well with Iron Defense, Body Press, or just Calm Mind. But yeah, like Bronzong is good for being a Trick Room mon and also an anti-Trick Room mon because of how slow it is. It just defeats Trick Room. Okay, so then the next Pokemon that I picked up here, I wanted to pick up a tier 5 because in this draft there are a lot of great Pokemon, and so the way that we tiered things was so that everybody could probably end up with a really good team and a team that they really liked. And there's one Pokemon in particular from the lowest tier that I really wanted, especially since I think a lot of people were asking, or some people were asking me to use this Pokemon in OU, but I was considering picking it up in draft, so I've been holding it off. This Pokemon is Lanturn, and Lanturn I think is a very valuable Pokemon at the lowest tier because firstly, it has 2 immunities, potentially. Electric with Volt Absorb and Water with Water Absorb. Depending on the matchup, it can bring either or. Now this thing has Volt Switch, which is amazing for Dragapult because it can Volt Turn and also have like that momentum with Volt Switch, Lanturn, U-Turn Dragapult, and Parting Shot Obstagoon. And also it has some great utility with T-Wave and Heal Bell. It has a really high HP stat, so it can invest more into defense or even its special attack or whatever. And the speed tier is not bad either. Like it's 67, which is quite faster than a lot of Pokemon actually. At level 50, you don't have to invest much to outrun certain mons depending on the matchup, and I like that about it. And it has some decent coverage overall. It's not the hardest hitter, but it can sponge. Like it can sponge things decently well. It's a great answer to a lot of the Rotom forms besides Rotom Cut, and that's great for stuff like Togekiss and Mamoswine and things. Yeah, Lanturn's fun. Lanturn's a lot of fun. It can be cool. I've used it before while testing. I've never really recorded with it before, other than in like previous generations, but I've used it before. I actually hit top 5 in UU in Black and White with a Lanturn team. It was like a Zoroark, Lanturn, Darmanitan team. I destroyed everybody with that team, and it was so much fun. Then the next Pokemon. So I guess we're on pick number 7, right? So at this point in the draft, I figured I'd pick another tier 4, and I saw a certain Pokemon that definitely caught my eye. I saw Virizion was still there, and I really wanted to pick that up again as, you know, because it's a Pokemon that I've used before in the past. I really like Virizion a lot. It was one of my kill leaders back in one of the other draft leagues I used it in. This gen, it's better because I think it gets some access to some different moves like Air Slash, Smart Strike, and stuff that could be really useful to defeat Pokemon that it would otherwise be walled by. Maybe like so certain bulkier grasses and fairies and stuff. So that might be interesting for sure. It's bulky. It has a really high speed tier so that it can actually set up really easily with Calm Mind or Swords Dance respectively. And it also, I think, has access to dual screens and taunt and stuff. So it can be utility. It can be you know, a setup, but the main reason why I picked it up is because it's versatile and it has not failed me. It's just such a fun mon to use in terms of you know, like the potential of coverage that it has, and it's a difficult mon to take out, especially if you don't have a Pokemon that's faster than it. It can put in the work for sure. If you haven't seen me use it before in previous drafts, I recommend you check it out. It's in my past videos. But yeah, I picked it up. I figured it'd be nice, and I do remember a comment, I think, when I had asked what Pokemon I should pick up. I think somebody said, uphold the tradition of picking up a Musketeer and get one, so I got one. I got you. Just like Lanturn, just like some of the other mons, I got you. So then, I wanted a Pokemon that could absorb T-Spikes, because it's important. I didn't want my team to be annihilated by residual damage from T-Spikes, so I picked up a tier 5 bottom tier Skuntank. And I think that's a really great value pick because Skuntank is firstly a grounded poison. It's also poison dark, So even though I already have a dark type Pokemon in Obstagoon, it doesn't share any weaknesses, because the poison type makes it neutral to fighting and stuff, and Obstagoon is not weak to ground like Skuntank is. But Skuntank is nice because firstly, it gives me a secondary defogger. Togekiss is defog, Skuntank also has defog. This Pokemon, like I said, it absorbs T-Spikes, but it also can be defensive and offensive. This thing can run defensive with Foul Play and stuff, and it can also run offensive with Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot's a brand new move that I don't think this thing got before, and it has the coverage that can back it up. Even though its special attack isn't the strongest, it can boost it. Level 50 format probably inflates those stats a little bit depending on I mean, in terms of like the damage and stuff. I think we could run some pretty fire sets. Its base HP is really high. It's got some great stats overall, I feel, and like the physical attack too is pretty good overall. We can run like Sucker Punch, Poison Jab, and things besides the regular defensive set. And yeah, I think even somebody suggested me to pick up Skuntank as well. So coincidentally, I did pick that up even before I saw the comments. So hope you enjoy this one. And then the next pick I picked up was a tier 4, my last, I think second to last tier 4. I picked up Scentiscorch. I think that's going to be fun because Scentiscorch, it has a very high attack stat, but then again, its special attack stat is also just as usable. It's still decently high. It has great coverage. A very versatile Pokemon. It doesn't have to run solely physical sets, and it has heavy duty boots. So like, I know that Moet picked up Volcarona, and that was tier 1. Scentiscorch being tier 4 with the same typing, you can run the similar item that it wants to, but it can hit really hard on the physical side, and it has access to Flash Fire and Flame Body and stuff. I think that's great for this Pokemon, and I've never used it before. I think the last WBE season champion Kyle had Scentiscorch, I think, and he won the league with it. So I figured I would want to try it on myself and see how it does. At this point in the draft, I had like one more pick for tier 4, and none of the mons were really that appealing to me except for one Pokemon, and I wanted to try it out. And so I picked up Rune here. Look at this Pokemon here. Nice Runerigus. And I think that this Pokemon fits really well with the team, even though I already have a ground type and a ghost type. Rune is a more defensive ground type. Mamoswine is not going to take fighting hits well at all, or hits, like strong hits in general. Rune can take it better because of the fact that it has higher defenses on its physical and special side, and also because it's a ground type Pokemon, or sorry, a ground ghost type Pokemon I should say. It can take a variety of hits that Mamoswine can take. It's resistant to rock, immune to fighting, and I think takes less damage from Grass Knot too, which was pretty nice. And this thing gets access to Poltergeist, and ghost types are really good this generation because there's no pursuit in the game. So I think Rune is nice in that regard. Also because it has T-Spikes. T-Spikes and Rocks both. I think T-Spikes provides a lot of value to Dragapult with Hex variant sets, and also has access to Trick Room along with Bronzong, so I could potentially bring a Trick Room, I guess a Trick Room style team maybe, but we'll see. I think even as a standalone Trick Roomer, it's pretty good. Nice mount overall, and its ability is pretty cool too. I was actually messing around with it in OU kind of lately, and I know that a Libero Cinderace had used an attack on me. And then Wandering Spirit stole Libero, and then I was a Libero Runerigus. So that was kind of heat though. Like seeing that thing change this type. I think it can be a useful ability for sure. More useful than Palossand. Palossand has a useless ability. I was thinking about getting that, but that got taken. But I think Rune's ability is much better for what it can do. And the last and final Pokemon of the draft league, you already know, I had to pick up something. Like as you can see, I have Dragapult, Togekiss, Mamoswine, Obstagoon, Virizion, some middle speed tier Pokemon and stuff like that. I just picked up last tier 5 Shuckle. And I picked up Shuckle because firstly, it's one of the best webbers in my opinion. It can set up webs and rocks both, even though it's like a deadweight mon in terms of just a slot to fill. Like it's great firstly because people have to prep for webs potentially, and secondly, it also does prevent Pokemon from setting up. It does have Encore, Final Gambit to prevent defogging, a knockoff so people can't switch in freely. I can get rid of items and stuff. I could even run like Contrary Shell Smash. What's that one set? The like Power Swap or something, or like some kind of swap move. I could try that maybe. But like if I want to lose maybe, or if I'm already in playoffs, maybe I'll do that. But I think Shuckle's cool because like it just fits so well on the team. Like sticky webs I kind of needed. I really do like this team a lot. I'm hoping that we can put in the work with it. But yeah, that's gonna be the full squad here. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you all enjoyed my draft and are excited to see the matches. I think the first one, which goes up next week, is against the YouTube celebrity himself, Numb Nexus. If you want to see the full draft, I commentated it with Joey Pokegame on his channel, which I think went up earlier today. I'm going to be uploading this after that goes up, so I encourage you all to check it out. Also, there are power rankings for each team, which goes up on Chimpback's channel, I think on Wednesday. I'm going to be in that video as well, so it should be pretty fun to watch. And yeah, like I said in the beginning of the video, leave a comment and let me know if you like my team and also what your favorite Pokemon that I drafted was. And yeah, with that being said, I'll see you all on the next video. Peace.